What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So 80% of Americans believe and foresee economic struggles in 2023, and I want to explain why. 2022 was a very difficult year for most Americans, but according to a Gallup poll just recently, 2023 could be even worse. According to this poll, 8 out of 10 Americans believe that 2023 will be a year of economic difficulty with higher taxes and a growing budget deficit. I will explain more on that in just a minute. They also say 6 out of 10 people think prices will rise at a high rate and also believe the stock market will continue to fall. One thing I can tell you is when the stock market falls and people believe that their net worth is dropping, they spend less money, which means there's a higher possibility we end up in a recession. We also know 50% of Americans believe that unemployment is bound to rise in 2023. Well, this is something that we didn't experience in 2022. However, this is something that the Federal Reserve has said multiple times and that they are watching, and they're secretly waiting to see this increase, because as the unemployment rate increases, there's a higher possibility that people stop spending money, which means we would bring down inflation. That's the goal of the Federal Reserve at the moment. Now, why would 80% of Americans foresee economic struggles in 2023? Well, in the same poll, we are also seeing that 90% of adults believe that 2023 will be a year of political cooperation between the Republicans and the Democrats, or they say it will be a year of political conflict. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Do you think Republicans and Democrats are going to get along, or do you think we're going to have a year of political conflict? My prediction, and I can tell you already with a very high probability, is that we are going to see conflict as a result of Democrats and Republicans splitting Congress. We know Republicans are now back in the House of Representatives. They are now in the majority, which means it will make it very difficult for Democrats to get any bills done. Also, why else do 80% of adults foresee economic struggles in 2023? Well, it's because of prices. Because of prices, uncertainty, right? Inflation is a major issue. But we are going to see what happens moving forward. Now, no matter how much Republicans and Democrats work together in 2023, economists are already predicting there is still going to be a mild recession in 2023. We are going to dip into a recession. Some also believe that this will be a Fed-induced recession, but either way, we have to dip into a recession to get away from inflation. That's what we must do. With that said, let's talk about a few things that the average American family just can't afford anymore, simply because of inflation. The first one is buying a home. The prices of homes across the United States have gone up so high in recent years, which was great if you owned a home over the past few years, but it makes it almost unattainable at this point to get a house. Not only that, but with interest rates rising and rising more than double, we are now fearing that the average family won't be able to buy a home for the next 3 to 5 years. 3 to 5 years. That's crazy. Experts also say that the average house payment today is 40% higher than it was last year, simply because of rising interest rates. But the Federal Reserve is not done. They are going to continue to raise rates to make sure that inflation goes down. That's what they've already told us. So, if you are looking to buy a home, 2023 might not be the year. Maybe 2024, probably 2025. The other thing that the average American household can't afford, grocery prices. And I've talked about this so many times. 56% of Americans reported financial difficulties paying for grocery products in 2022? And let me know your situation as well. Was it difficult to buy groceries? I can tell you, for me personally, I would go into the store and I would see a product that I normally buy, whether it's Oreos or chips or milk, bread, whatever, meats. I'd go into a store and I would simply not buy a product because I couldn't bring myself to pay that price. That was for me. Okay? Now, experts project that food prices are not going to stop anytime soon. They will continue to go up. In fact, just yesterday I had 2 or 3 people tell me that their egg prices went from $2.99 and $3.99 respectively to $6.95 and $7.99. And it's simply because it went from 2022 to 2023. That was it. So the change in the year prompted food prices to double. Yeah, crazy, right? Yeah. Now, this is actually causing 24% of Americans to only buy essential items. They're not buying things that they don't need. For example, I don't know the last time I bought ice cream, simply because I don't need it. We just don't need it. It's expensive. We just don't need it. So because of that, I don't buy it. Another thing that the typical American household cannot afford is travel. Travel's expensive. And due to Americans not being able to afford their normal lives, their typical food, medications, rent, utilities, car payments, right? Phone bills. Travel is one of the things that is being cut out. Travel is getting so expensive due to flights, hotels, and entertainment that millions are just staying home. Why go spend money when you can just stay home? Now, this is probably a very smart idea simply because flights are getting canceled at the highest rate in history. How crazy is that? That people aren't traveling because it's too expensive, and when they do, you cancel their flight. That's crazy. Now, here's one other thing I want to say. 80% of Americans foresee economic struggles in 2023 simply because prices are just so high. They can't afford their normal lives. Like I said, medications are too expensive. Some people have to decide, do I buy medication to, for my health to stay alive, or do I put food on the table? Do I pay for that medication, or do I pay for my utility bills to make sure my lights don't get shut off? Do I pay for that medication, or do I pay the extra $200 a month and I can actually pay for my apartment? Or do I just keep falling farther and further behind? These are the issues. These are the major issues that we see in 2023. Now, I did say I do think 2023 will be much better than 2022. However, and I want to be very clear on this, the first few months of 2023 are going to be painful. I think they're going to be painful for a few reasons. One, we are still in the middle of winter, which means we have higher energy bills. The second reason why is because inflation isn't coming down fast enough, so prices all across the board are going to be higher. Number 3, we're going to have some political conflicts because Democrats and Republicans are not going to get along. They're not going to be able to pass certain bills for the American people. So I think the first 3 to 6 months are going to be very difficult. Another reason why they're going to be very difficult, we still have COVID, we still have RSV, we still have the flu, right? All these different viruses going around, and we have to make sure we stay somewhat healthy. So that's what we know at this time. As always, as I know more, I promise I'll come back on and share all the latest news and updates. Again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.